Hello and welcome to my 24-hour Manga Marathon. If you don't know what the 24-hour Manga Marathon is, I'll put the link in the description so you can go and check out Immortalium's video. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing the two 12-hour versions. I tried to do 24 hours, but it's just not going to happen with my timetable of the week in the next coming weeks. So sadly, I'm just going to be doing two 12-hour versions. I have all my 6 categories for the marathon. Some bought new, some already have. So yeah, first category I'm going to be doing is my manga I have no interest in reading, which is, I'll show you now, it's a Battle Royale Angel's Border. Is that upside down? That's upside down. Battle Royale Angel's Border. I've had this for a while. Actually forgot I had it. I actually struggled to find a manga for this category. First, I was going to read. I actually picked this up. I picked up Citrus volumes 1, 2, and 3. And I picked that up because I couldn't really find a manga I had no interest in reading. So in Immortalium's list, he had in brackets manga out of your comfort zone, and so Yuri manga out of my comfort zone. I was going to read that, but then I remembered I had Battle Royale. If you don't know what Battle Royale is, the original series is published by Tokyo Pop, a 1 to 15 volume series. It's basically the original Hunger Games. It's probably the most gory, graphic manga I've read to date. And after I finished reading that, I, on a whim, saw this in the shop and picked it up. Got home and realised it's not the same artist. The same writer it has down, but 2 brand new artists. And the art is completely different. And that was kind of why I liked Battle Royale. It was one of the main reasons. The art was so unique. I'll just show you there. Art is so unique, and then once I open this up, it's nowhere near the same. So I immediately knew it's not going to fulfill my expectations. So I just lost interest in reading it, and after a few months I was kind of off the hype of Battle Royale and never got around to reading it, and that was like a year and a half ago. So now I'm going to go back and read this. I know it's basically taken the perspective of, in this Battle Royale they've taken a class of students, and a group of girls go and stay in a lighthouse to try and, survive. Very gory in here. Don't know what they're going to do with it in here. Don't know what I'm going to see. But yeah, so that's going to be my first part. The first category I'm going to read now. The time now is 20 past 12. So imagine it'll take me an hour and a half maybe. And I'll get back to you with my thoughts. Okay, so I've just finished reading this. It's now 1:30, so a little over an hour to read this. It's surprisingly good. It's 2 stories called episodes, 2 episodes, each illustrated by a different artist. So I'll show you the first episode. Looks like that. Go in here. Second episode. Art like that. So, and I was very confused going into this. Obviously, this writer being the same and 2 new artists. It's actually, the scripts for this are in the back. All the scripts are there. So it makes me think maybe they just decided not to put this in the full manga, or maybe this was written after. I don't know. But yeah, it's actually surprisingly good. It's taken, basically the Battle Royale is a story where they take, the government take a class and put them into this event where they have to kill each other, and it's all about their country and proving points and stuff. Very messed up. But it's basically, in this battle royale, a group of girls group together and go and try and survive in the lighthouse together. And yeah, so it's taken, the first story is of two girls and their kind of life inside the lighthouse, and how they're feeling. The feelings are a bit contradictory to the actual manga, whereas, you know, Battle Royale, the 15-volume series, shows them very distraught and just scared for their lives. You don't really get that sense in here too much, which is a bit of a shame, but still, throughout the story, first and second one, it flashes forward to the kind of resolution of the lighthouse story in the manga. If you've read Battle Royale, you know what that is. So, very filled with spoilers, I have to say, which is a bit strange because Viz have released this well. I will say they've released it well. Viz signature line, good paper quality, but they've released this with spoilers, but haven't released the full series yet. So whether that's just or licensing issues, I don't know. But it seems a bit strange to release a book where they haven't released the actual full story, just a book with spoilers, so to speak, you know. But hey ho. The second story is the one I prefer. It takes characters, find their names, Chisato Matsui, the girl, and Mimura, the boy. You probably, if you've read the story, you know Mimura. This does not have literally any scenes in the Battle Royale, which is, it's actually quite better. Wherever the first stories is set in the Battle Royale, in the lighthouse, and that kind of put me off because it was so different to the actual story, whereas the second story is their lives before going into this event, and actually really gives you more insight to their characters, and yeah, it makes me feel more for these two characters in the actual story. So yeah, in that way, this book is very good. Would I recommend it? Sure, I would. If you've read Battle Royale and you would like to see more of it, sure, go and read more. Go and pick this up. That's all I can say for it, really. Obviously, very filled with spoilers, so if you haven't read Battle Royale, read that first. I know it's very hard to get hold of because obviously Tokyo Pop gone bust, but whatever. It's what it is. So next, I was expecting this to be really bad and was going to go on to my Tezuka category, which I think I'm still going to do. So now I'll just go and get my Tezuka work to show you guys. Okay, so I have my manga. Had a bit of memory issue there, so it's now about 2 o'clock. For my Osamu Tezuka category, I will be reading Message to Adolf. I got this at Christmas. It's my second now Osamu Tezuka piece that I'll be reading. I've read Ayako. What else can I say about this? Not much. I don't know much. All I know is that 3 people named Adolf, their lives. I know that's not much to go off, but all I know is that it's very good. I've heard a lot of good things about this, and one of Osamu Tezuka's greatest pieces, so I've been really wanting to get into more. This is the way, I think. So yeah, it's now 1 minute to 2 by my count. I'll show you here. Oh, how long will this take me? Quite a long time. Maybe 4 o'clock. So yeah, I'll probably take a break in between the books and I'll be back to review this. So yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, well that took a lot longer than expected. Yeah, so now about 12 o'clock, exactly 12 hours. I read the whole thing. absolutely amazing. I said 4 o'clock. That was ridiculous anyway. I didn't realise how text heavy this series was. It's absolutely fantastic. If you haven't checked this out, I highly recommend you do. Blew me away. Absolutely amazing. That's the second Tezuka manga I've read, and amazing. So yeah, what is Message to Adolf all about? It's about 3 men named Adolf, well, 2 boys and 1 man. There is Adolf Kaufmann and Adolf Camille, the 2 boys there, and from the get-go we get the idea that these 2 kids are best friends, but their families, Camille family is Jewish, living in Japan for refuge, trying to get away from all the discrimination, and Kaufmann's family are there on business sort of thing. His dad is an officer for Germany, and is very obviously anti-Jewish, so immediately they're told not to be friends. They are enemies, which they don't understand, and it's their journey mainly from Adolf Kaufmann's upbringing through Adolf Hitler School, and being taught that Jewish are evil, and literally being taught from the one book, Mein Kampf. Absolutely amazing representation of all these characters. There is the other character of Toge, whose brother at the beginning is mysteriously killed, and he's killed by Nazis, and this happens right before he was going to meet up with his brother Toge to tell him about secrets that he found out about Hitler. He was saying that this is going to bring down Hitler, this is going to take down Nazism, but is killed. So Toge takes it upon himself to get revenge for his brother, and that's his kind of initial role. Obviously they're making a lot of new enemies along the way, and his story is fantastic. Every character is amazing in this. I was completely blown away. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, as I said, it's very text heavy. I didn't really realise how long it was going to take me to read. I think 7 hours of reading today on this one series. So yeah, as in terms of the print of this manga, it's by Vertical. Obviously amazing print. The hardcovers both about 600 pages. Artwork very consistent. Tezuka's artwork amazing. I love it. I find with mangas like this series, it's quite hard to tell characters apart with the art. I never had the problem in this series. As soon as you see a character, you know who it is. Maybe that's because I obviously read it all in one sitting, made it easier, but I found his art was very crisp and very easy to distinguish characters. So yeah, no real complaints about this series at all. One minor thing I was kind of thinking about at the end of the first book, there was kind of like a little love triangle happening. I won't go into too much detail about the characters used, but I wasn't put off at all. I was just, wondering where Tezuka was going with this. Obviously it was printed a while ago, so it would have been received a lot different than it is now, a love triangle in manga. So yeah, I'll be interested to know if there was that sort of thing in shonen series at that time. But yeah, so definitely, if you haven't picked up Message to Adolf, pick it up. It's a fantastic read. I'm going to now go and sleep. I'm not going to attempt the 24-hour version It's now Monday, so I'll be recording my second 12-hour on Thursday. Obviously that's actually going to be straight away for you watching. So yeah, I have 4 more categories to read, and I will see you then. Okay, I'm back. It's now the following Wednesday. I don't know, I just lost time to do it. Didn't really have the 12 hours, but now I do. It's the 27th, so cutting it fine to get it in, but should be fine. So straight on, I've got 4 more categories to go. I know Message to Adolf took a lot longer than I expected. I should have stopped on the first volume, but what can you do? My next category is probably the one I'm most interested to read now, is the Josei category. I've read one Josei before, being Seven Ghost. I picked up the first volume 2 years ago now, maybe, thinking it was a shonen. I didn't like it. Art was bad. I don't know why it's so popular, really. I couldn't really get into it from the first volume. And then later found out that that was a Josei. So it kind of put me off Joseis, but obviously knew that they weren't all like Seven Ghosts shonen style. So I've now picked up, well, spent a long time researching Joseis and finding one that was, in print, in English, in stock, and reasonably priced. And I found Bunny Drop. So I have to read volumes 1, 2, and volumes 3. I don't know much about this series, but I know about a 20-year-old, I think, after his grandfather dies, finds out that he had an illegitimate child, and he's basically been given custody of this child, and it's basically this child's growth and their lives, really. So I'm quite interested to read it. So yeah, 3 volumes, obviously 4 categories to go, 3 hours a piece. I know one won't take that long for today, so I'll give myself 3 hours to read this, and if I've only read 2 volumes, I'll leave it at 2 volumes. So yeah, it is now 7 minutes past 1 on Wednesday, so I'm going to go and read these 3 volumes, maybe 2, depends how long it takes. Okay, I've just finished reading these books, and it's now just coming up for 4 o'clock, so less than 3 hours, sorry. And yeah, this series is fantastic. I didn't say before, it's by Yumi Yanita, mangaka, and yeah, this story is absolutely fantastic. You've got Daikichi and Rin. Daikichi being the 30-year-old who kind of adopts Rin, Rin being the 6-year-old. And as soon as he's, well, even before he takes Rin, you kind of see changes in Daikichi, and you kind of get what kind of character he is. Because when Daikichi's grandfather dies, the rest of the family is saying, we don't want to take care of her, she's too young, let's put her in a home. But it's Daikichi that says, no, this is a little girl, she's innocent here. I'll look after her, I'll take her in, I'll look after her. And from that moment, both of them are being raised into better people. Both of them are being taught from each other, and I think it's done really well. Over these 3 volumes that I've read, the progression of the characters is fantastic. It's done so well. Not just those characters. You've also got the character of Koki. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's also a child in this story who kind of allows Rin to grow. But just the progression of these characters and seeing their like the people they were before this event to after, and throughout, you get Rin's kind of stubbornness being grown up. Her past is kind of a mystery to the rest of the family, and it's Daikichi who's trying to figure out how she lived. So yeah, seeing all these characters both of these characters, I should say, go through the changes, and seeing that it's not the one actually, the 6-year-old growing up through school, she's not the one having the most, you know, life changes. It's Daikichi who's, you know, giving up time at work, you know, spending all of his day looking after Rin, is the one who's growing up the most here, really. So yeah, the story is absolutely fantastic. This is published by Yen Press. The paper quality is actually really thick. I was actually really impressed with. So yeah, also the covers, the cover art is really good. It's like kind of a pastel. I get a sense that all these volumes will be pastel colours, which, you know, is quite cool. It is they just fell. It is a Jose series, so obviously aimed at women. But yeah, the story is absolutely fantastic. Would I recommend this to people? Yes, especially if you're like me who wanted to get into more Jose series. This is definitely a very good series. Absolutely fantastic, and I will be picking up more of this, definitely, and hopefully more Jose series. Okay, so my next category is going to be all-in-one manga, or all-in-one book, and for that, I'll show you. I'm doing Tropic of the Sea by Satoshi Kon. I've been really interested to read Satoshi Kon manga. I've been recently watching a lot of his movies. I've watched Perfect Blue and Paprika. I've been looking to get Tokyo Godfathers, but I don't think that has a Blu-ray release, so I might just end up getting a DVD of that. So yeah, it has, watching his amazing movies. I love those movies. If you haven't checked those out, definitely check those out. So yeah, I've been interested to pick up Tropic of the Sea and Opus for a long time, and I thought this is a good time. It's quite a thin volume. I don't know much about this. I think, you know, films and short mangas, I prefer just going in without knowing anything at all, really. Obviously, huge series, I like to know what I'm getting into, but one volume series, I quite like the surprise of the stories and the characters. So yeah, it's now 6 minutes past 4, so it's pretty much exactly been 3 hours since I started. This should take me about an hour and a half, maybe. Yeah, I don't think it's that text heavy. It's not, no. So and I will walk my dog in that time, so I'll be back maybe 6-ish, 6 o'clock, to give you my thoughts on Tropic of the Sea. Okay, so I've just finished Tropic of the Sea. It's literally taking me an hour and a half to walk the dog and read this. I'm pretty good on timings today, unlike on last week. So yeah, obviously a very short story. Maybe should have been longer. But yeah, what is this about? It's about a mystical egg that has been passed down through generations, and you introduce to the character of Yosuke, and he is fulfilling the prophecy of refilling the water for the egg once a week. But his father is the currently chief of the town, of the village, and is selling land and is selling the island across from this town for reconstruction, which you are kind of shown it has some mystical elements to it. So those are the two characters you're first introduced to, and then you get some like government officials coming in who show a liking to this egg and kind of want to know more about it, and they're kind of, you know, set up as the bad guys for this story. All round is a good story. Very interesting to see Satoshi Kon's works before he got into anime. The ending was very brief and not very well explained. You kind of got a gist of what happened, but more explanation would have been a lot more better. would have been easier to let the reader understand what had just happened. So yeah, the art in this book is a lot like Otomo's, who did Akira. I know Satoshi Kon was assistant to him, which is not a bad thing. Actually, quite an interesting aspect to the manga. See here's just some of the art. I don't have Akira on me at the moment. I have got the manga just it's at a friend's house at the moment, so I can't show you the art from there. But yeah, that's not a bad thing that his art is similar to Otomo's. But yeah, all round okay story. Again, it would have been better for it to be longer and more just fleshed out all throughout. You get like hints of the female character in here. She kind of has a bit of a background but is not explained. So yeah, maybe a bit more of character backgrounds would have been good here. So yeah, if you are interested in Satoshi Kon's movies and you've liked them, or even if you've read one of his mangas like Opus and you're thinking about getting this, again, it's an interesting read. It is fascinating. If you're not interested in Satoshi Kon, you're not really missing out on anything. Yeah, this is a vertical release, so the print is very good. The cover art, you might be able to see, it's a bit reflective here. It stands out. Yeah, so that's all I really have to say about that manga. Good. It took me about an hour to read, maybe about 40 minutes. So yeah, my next category is a manga started before 1990, or manga before 1990. And I was looking around for a while, and there was a manga actually on my wish list that I wanted to get. I didn't realise was printed before 1990, and that's Ram the Half. I've got the first two omnibuses here I've picked up for this. I'd probably read both. I have the time. I'm literally coming up for on time halfway through the 12 hours. So yeah, I will read both of these. I don't know much about this series. I know it's a very comedic shonen series. Artwork looks pretty nice in here. Yeah, so pretty much all these mangas I'm going into blind, not knowing much about the story, but I think I'm quite enjoying this, going into these series and learning about them and completely fresh going into them. So yeah, I'm going to go and read both of these omnibuses now. So yeah, it's literally 42 minutes past 5. I'll obviously go and probably have dinner in between reading these two volumes, and then I'll come back after I've read them and give you my thoughts and opinions. Okay, so I'm back after reading Ram the Half. I only read volumes 1 and 2. I have not read 3 and 4 for reasons I'll explain in a second. But yeah, what a fantastic series. Really funny. More than what I hoped for. Absolutely fantastic. So what is the series about? It's about Ramanus Sayotome, who is on an expedition with his father Genma, and they fall into ancient pools and basically gives them a curse. Now Ramanus' curse is when he gets touched by if he gets touched by cold water, he turns into a girl. And his father, if he gets touched by cold water, he turns into a panda. Now, I know, that's already set up for quite a comedic plot. So, at the beginning of this series, we're introduced to 3 sisters, Kazumi, Nabiki, and Akame. Now, Akame is the one who forms a friendship with Ramna after their... Well, it's not so much a friendship, more of a partnership, where their fathers tell them that they are engaged, they are to be married. The series is absolutely amazing. Of these 2 volumes that I've read, I was laughing so much. and that's the reason why have not yet read 3 and 4, is because I didn't want to just marathon this series like I've been doing with Message to Adolf and Bunny Drop. I read all 3 volumes. Message to Adolf, I read the whole thing, because obviously those story-based mangas where, you know, they're fantastic reads. Not to say this isn't, but this is like a comedy manga, and I'm treating this as like my chill manga. I used to have like, what did I use for that in the past? Slam Dunk I used to have as just my chill manga. I think this is a really good replacement. So my kind of thought process is I'll buy one every month and have it just as a chill out time, read Ram and a half, because it's so funny. Because like a comedy TV show, you don't just go and marathon the whole thing in one go like you do with any other like TV shows you might do. Comedy TV shows, comedy manga, you read it all in once and it's finished, isn't it? It's a bit of a shame. So I'm definitely going to savour this. Other characters in the series are absolutely fantastic as well. You've got Ryoga, who comes across as a villain, but then you find out he's also been cursed, and when he touches cold water, he turns into a tiny little pig, which when you first see it, I cracked up laughing. It's so well done. Absolutely fantastic. The mangaka, Rumiko Takahashi, also did Inuyasha, which I haven't read yet. I don't know much about this mangaka. I know she's got quite a history. I don't want to try and go into details because I honestly don't know myself. But yeah, fantastic series. I highly recommend you pick this up if you're into just a comedy chill out manga. This is definitely the one to get. The quality, obviously published by Viz in the Shonen Sunday magazine. It's a 2-in-1, so they're not like the omnibuses 3-in-1s they've been doing with like One Piece, Naruto and all that, where you may have heard the paper quality is very bad. You may have even experienced it yourself. The paper quality is so thin. But these 2-in-1s, they've kept the same paper quality as in normal Viz prints. So you're not losing any paper quality, and the print is very nice. Kept the quality of that well. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic series. I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to read more. So yeah, that's that category done. Manga before 1990. Now that's left is my favourite manga series, and as I said earlier, Akira, which I have a joint 2 top mangas, which I'm still not certain which is my favourite manga, and it's between the series that I'm going to read and Akira. Like I said, it's at a friend's house, I'm letting him read it. So my favourite manga, other than that, is 20th Century Boys. I love this manga. It's one of the first mangas I read, probably the first seinen I read, and Naoki Urasawa's masterpiece that is 20th Century Boys. If you're not sure what this is about a story of Kenji and his friends, where one day when they're younger they make this fantasy of when villains take over the world, they will be the heroes to save the world. Obviously this is forgotten about, it's just a childhood story, but then one day things they write in this story come to be true, and they find this cult called the Friends, and the leader is reenacting their fantasies. So it's already gets dark with one of their old friends committing suicide. So yeah, and you've got Kenji in here, and I can't remember, is it Kana? His sister is niece's name, I think it is. It's a fantastic series. I can't wait to read more. It's now 8 minutes past 8, so I've got through these pretty fast. I think that's obviously because I didn't read the other 2 volumes of Rum and a Half. But yeah, so I'm going to dive straight into this. I have the full series, but I might just aim for volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 today. I'm not sure. If I find a good finishing point at the end of the episode, volume 4, if it ends quite nicely there, I can't remember how each volume ends, but if it ends quite nicely there, I'll call it there and see what the time is. And if it's nearing on 1 o'clock, maybe I'll just finish it there. It completely depends. So yeah, I'm gonna go out now and chill with 20th Century Boys. I know I'm gonna love this. I've got coffee. So yeah, I will speak to you when I've finished reading 20th Century Boys, which will hopefully be around 1 o'clock. I have got a backup manga, just in case I get a bit bored of reading 20th Century Boys for 9, 10, for 5 hours. I might do 3 hours of 20th Century Boys. I don't know. It depends how I feel, but I do have a backup just in case. Another category. So yeah, I will speak to you in a bit. Okay, so I just finished reading 20th Century Boys. No, not finished, but I've read volumes 1, 2, and that's 4, and 3. So 1, 2, and 3 I've read. Got me right back into the series. I'm gripped again. Urasawa's storytelling in this series is absolutely fantastic. Some things I've forgotten, so I'm really interested to read again. And after all this is the one I'm most excited to read. This is how much I love this series. It's fantastic. I explained a bit of the plot. I explained that obviously some mysterious person is recreating the events that Kenji and his friends told or made up in this book of prophecy, and the symbol that keeps appearing is this symbol, and it keeps recurring in these first few volumes, and it's basically Kenji's trying to remember what happened and trying to save humanity, really. Everything's coming to life, coming to real life, and the story is fantastic. And I remember the way everything just all binded together at the end. It was a fantastic series. Viz have printed this really well. All of Urasawa's works by Viz are printed fantastically in the Viz signature editions, so they're thick volumes, thick paper quality, really good, and inside covers here with notes about the author, and also on the other side they've got awards that Urasawa has won. There's not much else to say about this series. I love Naoki Urasawa. I'm not sure whether or not I prefer Urasawa or Tezuka at the moment. Obviously I haven't read all of their works, so I can't say for certain who I like better, but at the moment it may be Urasawa because of series like this, that the long series that just bind together so well, blows my mind every time. So yeah, that's an amazing series. If you haven't checked out 20th Century Boys, I highly recommend you do. It's fantastic. So that is all of my 6 categories. It is now 6 minutes past 12, so I do have about an hour left, but I think I'm going to call it there. I won't go on to my backup manga, which was my non-battle shonen. I had Bakuman, who I've had for a while. I was just going to read a bit of it, but I'm not going to do that now. So yeah, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but in this marathon I've read Battle Royale Angel's Border, which was good. It was quite interesting to see these side stories. So if you're a fan of Battle Royale, like I said, go and check that out, but don't expect the same vibes you get from the original series. I then read all of Message to Adolf, which I'm still not sure whether I should have read it all in one sitting. Maybe I should have spread it out a little bit, but it's again a fantastic series, easily my favourite Tezuka work I've read. Since recording last week's, Buddha had been delivered, so I've read the first volume of that, which is looking really good. I got the complete box set. So yeah, I'm always reading more Tezuka, which, you know, yeah, Mr. Shadow, amazing. And then today I read Bunny Drop, which really, really fascinating series to read. My first real Josei I've read, so really interesting read there. Then read Satoshi Kon's Tropic of the Sea, which was a good story. I only really found it interesting because it's Satoshi Kon and seeing his artwork. And yeah, finding out, you know, his progression of storytelling was quite interesting. Tropic of the Sea story was just about average, really. There's a lot of things not wrong with it, just criticisms I have of the series. It could have been done a lot better. I then read the first 2 volumes of Ram and a Half, which I really loved. It's my new comedy series. Like I said, it's just my new chill out manga that I'm going to be reading. Which I said, you know, if you're into, like, every now and again reading a comedy manga, that's a great one. And yeah, I finally read 20th Century Boys, which was just fantastic. I love 20th Century Boys. I'm definitely going to go through and reread it all again. So yeah, this has been my entrant, my submission, whatever you want to call it, into Immortalium's 3rd annual Manga Marathon. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video. Click the like button. You can check out my channel. I've only just started doing videos on YouTube, doing manga reviews. Currently got a Solanin manga review up, so you want to go and check that out. Much appreciated. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully be back next year for the 4th annual Immortalium's Manga Marathon. See ya.